G'day everyone, it's another great day for ROM hacking and Nintendo 64 emulation and PC ports everywhere. Today it's going to be Bomberman 64, not to be confused with Bomberman 64 or Bomberman 64, the second assault. Now I know that's confusing, but this Bomberman 64 was one of my childhood favorite games as growing up, especially the multiplayer. Playing with my brothers and his friends and my friends, it was endless amounts of fun, and its story mode is really good. This recompilation does not have multiplayer in it for more than one person. You can still verse CPU bots if you wish, which is a little bit of a shame, but that work is still ongoing with the Recompile framework at the moment. That being said, the game is out, it looks fabulous, with one or two issues here and there, but I'm sure in future updates they'll all be smoothed out. Bomberman 64 Recomp is by REVO, and in order to play Bomberman 64 Recomp, you're going to need to go to the link in the description below, heading towards the releases page for the files to download. When you get to the releases page, there is actually quite a lot of versions of this game, because this REVO character went out of his way to make sure there is plenty of support for whatever system you happen to be on, be it Apple ARM, x64, Linux ARM, Mac OS, and then you're gonna have to scroll down and show even more to get PDB debug as well as Windows debug. And the reason why there's two versions of each version is because the debugged version is the developer version, where you can open up the various developer files and get a little bit more extra options, as well as logging files so that you can send them to the developer himself when you have crashes or other issues. So for all of us who aren't, elite hacksaws, you might be better off with just going with the rel with debinfo.zip. Now specifically in this video we're going to be looking at the Windows release, but it should be fairly similar for the rest. The only thing that is missing here from my eyes is a flat pack release for Linux, which would make it a one-click install for all Linux users, instead of having to go through the rigmarole of opening up a zip file and then opening up the file yourself and putting it into a folder yourself. Once you have downloaded the correct zip file, you're going to extract it into a folder like so. If you want this game to be portable and keep all of the controls, saves, mods, and ROM file within one single folder, you need to create a TXT file called portable.txt. The TXT file does not need to contain any data whatsoever, it just needs to be inside the folder named portable.txt. Once you have done this, all saves, mods, mod configurations, and settings will be saved to that folder instead of the default settings, which is in your C drive, documents, common, app data, etc. And you're going to open up the BM64 recompiled.exe. Once this loads, like all other recompiles, you just need to hit the select ROM button and then select your Bomberman 64 USA ROM. Then once you hit that, you can hit start game. But before we go into that, there are settings we can go through, and there are quite a lot of interesting things here, such as cheats, which allows you to have always max bomb, always max fire, always have remote bombs, always have red bombs, infinite credits, infinite lives. These things are very helpful, especially when you're first playing through the game, especially remote bombs. This is very useful for jumping over various gaps without having to worry about your bombs blowing up in your face, in order to collect the various credits that are hidden throughout the map. In the graphics menu, we do have unlocked frame rate, being able to manually select all the way up to 360, or your display rate, which can go beyond 360, or select the original frame rate, which is around 20 to 30 FPS. I recommend just selecting the display frame rate and letting it go. I did have some frame rate issues, specifically in the first zone of the green garden area, when the river is running and you are looking at the river. I don't know what specifically causes this issue, but if you have this issue, know that you're not alone. There is a mod page as well. However, there are no mods at the moment. Neither is there a thunderstore.io page for Bomberman 64. Another way you can install the game is using Nintendo 64 N64 Recomp Launcher by SirDiabo. This guy has made a fantastic launcher for all Recomps and various other PC ports out there, including a mod launcher. In order to do this one, you go to the link description below, go to the releases page and download for your system, being Linux or Windows. There is no Mac version of the N64 Recomp Launcher, I'm sorry to say. However, once you have unzipped the folder, it will give you something like this when you launch it, which is various games. In here we can also look at mods for the various games by browsing the mods, and it will just come up as you would expect. You can search various things such as top rated, most downloaded, last updated, and newest. This allows you to find mods very easily without having to go through Thunderstore Launcher's website. As it is right now, Bomberman 64 does not have a mod folder, but we can download by just clicking the download file right here or using the ... download. We then need to select which one we want, as we would just in our normal case. Once it is downloaded, you then connect it as you would normally. Where you launch it up, select your ROM wherever it may be, and then you can just start the game. Now what makes this Recomp launcher extra special is when we go into the settings here, in order to make sure you're in portable mode in the Nintendo 64 Recomp launcher, you need to head to the settings and make sure you hit the check mark for portable mode. This will be universal for all Recomps that you install using Nintendo 64 Recomp launcher. It is very important if you want to use the mod launcher and mod loader with Recomp launcher. We can head into General, scroll down, show experimental games, and show custom games. And this will allow us to see various other PC ports such as Animal Crossing, Banjo-Kazooie Nuts and Bolts, Legend of Dragoon, Perfect Dark PC port, Sonic Unleashed, Driver 2 PC port. We also have the ship versions of the Nintendo 64 games such as Starship, Ghost Ship, Mario Kart 64 Spaghetti Kart, Ship of Harkonnen, and Two Ship 2 Harkonnen, which is the Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time PC port. There is also the Super Metroid PC port, the Super Mario World PC port, and various others. So this is a great one-stop stop for all of your beans. The best part about this is when an update happens for any of these games, it will show you and tell you, and then you can just update it from the launcher itself. Now that's it from me today. Hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, give it a like and subscribe over on the YouTube. I hope this has helped you out. I'll see you guys next one. Have a good one. Bye bye.